This is just your standard leaf blower, and I'm going to insert it over this pin, just like I did the spool on top of the cardboard, and I'm going to turn it on, and then I'm going to tell you guys to let go. Okay. Let's see if I can get it again. And you guys, thank you guys. Let me see if I can pick it up with this off the flow. So they're a little bit bigger, okay? But same thing. That's kind of weird because if I blew this at you, you would be, you're pushed away. Maybe I should try to pick you up. So, what's going on with that? Let's go back to the spool. With the spool, if we look at that spool as a cross section, here is a cross section view of the spool. There's the hole going through the middle. Here is the cardboard beneath it. And here's the pin just to keep it from sliding around side to side. Before I did anything, what was the airspeed above and below this spool? Before I did anything? Zero. And it's the same. Therefore, if that and that are the same, therefore that and that are the same. Atmospheric pressure is the same top and bottom. They cancel out, and so the weight of this thing would pull it down. But when I blew into the top of it, airspeed's going here. When that air comes down to the cardboard, where's the only direction it can go? Out, right? So it separates kind of like a microburst thunderstorm. The air hits the ground from all the rain that's falling, pulling it down. The air hits and spreads out. You have high winds there. So here we have these high air speeds now over the spool or over that foam board. When the airspeed over here goes up, the pressure there has to go down. So we created a low pressure system on the top with the higher pressure on the bottom, holds the thing up. Bernoulli's principle. There's another example of it working. All right, let's look at another demo of this. This is a little bit different, and I've never done this with this foam in the way, so we'll see how that goes.
Well, you said the low pressure is on the top, right?
Correct. Yeah, because the speed on the top goes up. This term goes up, it means that has to go down.
And high always goes to low.
That's right. From high to low, the wind will blow, right? The pressure wants to push in that direction.
Okay.
High down here, low down here, it's greater in that direction. Yep. So what we've been doing so far, we've been blowing air at things, and the non-intuitive happens, right? It actually holds it up. But now I'm going to try to blow something up. Try to do something totally different. So I'm going to blow air from this at this and try to hold this thing up. And we know intuitively that will happen, right? Again, hand out of the car window, you get that pressure pushing back. So we should be able to support something by blowing air at it. Let's see if we can do that. Okay, it works. I mean, there's air pressure pushing up because all that dynamic pressure in the air, and it holds it up. That's not a huge mystery. Let's do something else. All right. You know, this is a Pinocchio ball. There are no strings on me. There's nothing holding this. Who else was that? That was an Iron Man too, wasn't it? The bad guy? Yeah. So when this thing is there, the dynamic pressure is holding it up. But when I gave it a tippity tap and it went this way, there's nothing physically holding it. Newton's first law, an object in motion wants to continue motion, would say it should just fall off. But no, it was brought back, and then it's brought back, and it kept going back and forth. What in the world is going on there? When I gave it a tippy tap and it went this way, there is a high-speed jet of air coming up right here. In that high speed, what's the pressure? Low. Really low. So there's a low pressure on this side of the ball the atmosphere over here has higher pressure and it pushes it back in. But it overshoots, and then the reverse happens, it pushes it back in and just continues to wobble back and forth. So let's do one more. So what's going on there? That's kind of weird. Right? Same thing though, right? So you got that high speed jet of air. When the ball, due to gravity, falls out of that high speed a little bit, the lower pressure is on top in the high speed jet of air. The higher pressure due to the atmosphere on the bottom pushes it back up. If I tilt it too far, obviously it's going to fall out, but you can just suspend it there. All of that is explained by Bernoulli's principle right here. Let's do one more. It's always good to see physical evidence of what we say should be true. What we've got here are bags. These are just like big long trash bags. If you've had kids, these look more like the diaper sausages that you can make. We've got these huge long trash bags that you put a diaper down in, twist it, put another one in, twist it, and you end up with this nasty sausage at the end. But it keeps the smell locked in because it's twisted off. This is not that. This is something different. So this is just a big long bag. You can see it's about that big when you open it up. I think when you stretch it out this way, it's 8 inches across. So you got this big long tube, and you can fill it up with air, and then it makes a really awesome big lightsaber you can play with your kids. Or if you fill it up with hot air, it's semi-buoyant because it's kind of big. It's an airship, although I don't think it can float. I don't know if it's big enough. But what we're going to do with it is we're going to have a competition. Okay? And I'm going to have 4 volunteers come up here, and the 2 volunteers that are the bravest are going to see who can fill this bag up the quickest just by breathing in it. Okay? So who are my 4 volunteers? Okay, you. Come on up. Come on up. Come on up. Okay, I'm gonna have you hold on to that, grab that and back up a little bit. And I'm going to have you hold that in, just hold it up, you're good. And I'm going to have, I want you guys to swap sides here. You're gonna grab right there. And you're gonna hold right here and back up just a little bit further. I want to be able to, you don't have to pull it like crazy tight, but you're gonna get it a little, kind of like that, So what you 2 on the ends are going to do, your job is going to be to fill this thing up. You're gonna take a big deep breath, breathe into it, hold the back away before you breathe back in. You breathe in again. You guys in here are going to count how many breaths it takes. Now, what the job of everybody in the audience is, you guys are going to guesstimate, and you're going to cheer. Yeah, when it's done. But before, you're going to guesstimate how many breaths do you think it should take these 2 folks. Okay? Consider like the human lungs. You got lungs. You can try to imagine in front of you how much volume the lungs have, and imagine how much of that you can expel. You don't collapse your lungs every time you breathe, so it's not going to be all of that lung capacity. Try to guesstimate how many breaths it'll take to blow these things up. Just throw out some estimates right now. 35. 50. 58.
80.
Wow, we're getting big here. 3. Okay, we got 3 to 80. Okay, we're narrow. No, we're not. This is very broad right now. 15. Okay, that's a little bit more reasonable. So let's get ready to do this. You feeling okay? Yeah. Are either one of you guys smokers, by the way? Because that could affect it. No? Okay. So come out. You're not going to pull it crazy tight, but get it a little. There you go, like that. You guys are up. You're counting, right? You're in charge of that. All right, go for it. See what you can do. if you feel like you're gonna pass out, then you need to just keep going. All right, we'll call this one done. We'll call this one done. Go ahead and stop. You gotta keep going. Okay, we'll just stop here. How many did it take? 7. How many were you on? 12. So you're going to be 80 at the end, right? Okay. All right. Let's say thanks to these guys. Thank you. You guys can just drop it. You stay, and you can sit back down. You can take a break. You're going to help me. I'm not doing it. I'll see what I can do. Let me get out. So I would not ask you guys to do something that I would not do myself. So I will do it too. And I will say in the beginning, this does have something to do, with lung capacity. I've swam a lot, so I'm a swimmer from a kid, so lung capacity may be an issue here that you can expel, maybe not a huge issue. I did very unwisely smoke for a little bit when I was younger, but I've stopped. It's been decades since I've done that, so that's affected my lungs a little bit. So all those factors come into something like this. Genetics, what you've done with yourself, all that. Maybe something else will have something to do with it too. So could you count for me, please? How many was that? 1. Okay, I lost it. So this is actually called a Bernoulli bag. Well, also I didn't tell you that I'm a freak of nature. My lungs start here and go down all the way to my ankles. It's kind of weird, but I've learned to live with it. That's not true. So this is a Bernoulli bag. Actually, if you guys flowing into this, if you would have stopped listening to me jabber on and just read the bag, it would have told you what to do with that. Notice I intentionally told you to hold it like this. How much air went into it when you breathed? Only the air in your lungs, that's it. And you breathe out not all your lung capacity, which is kind of small to begin with. So, like 10 to 15 is average for what it would take somebody to do this. So 7 was awesome. But when I did it, I obviously used a different technique. I held it wide open in front of me, and I blew from a distance. So when I breathed out what was probably close to the same amount that you two breathed out in one breath, that high-speed jet of air went right here. But in that high speed, it had low pressure. So what did it do to all the air around it? So come on in, we're having a party. So all that air was drawn in with that one breath and filled it up in one breath. That all comes back to this. So we can be sure that this describes what happens in nature because we've seen it over and over again. You guys have a lovely weekend. I'll see you on Monday.